Iowa Children's Choice Award Books, 2012 to 2013. The Brixton Brothers, The Case of Mistaken Identity by Mark Barnett. When 12-year-old Steve Brixton, a fan of Bailey Brothers detective novels, is mistaken for a real detective, he must elude librarians, police, and the mysterious Mr. E as he seeks a missing quilt containing coded information. In Mockingbird, 10-year-old Caitlin, who has Asperger's syndrome, struggles to understand emotions, show empathy, and make friends at school, while at home she seeks closure by working on a project with her father. In Born to Fly, it's 1942. An 11-year-old girl who longs to be a pilot and her family try to manage their lives in Rhode Island when the father is sent to World War II. While searching for her lost dog, Danny, 12-year-old Bree meets Raylene, a volunteer at the local animal shelter who helps Bree put her life in perspective. In Getting Air by Dan Gutman, after foiling a terrorist hijacking aboard their plane, 14-year-old Jimmy, his younger sister, and two skateboarding friends crash land the plane and try to survive in a forest wilderness until help arrives. In the 19th century, 10-year-old Florence Crutchfield leaves a London orphanage to live with her great-uncle, great-aunt, and sickly cousin James, but she soon realizes the home has another resident who means to do her and James harm. Read Mary Downing Hawn's The Ghost of Crutchfield Hall. 10-year-old Allie's family moves from urban New Haven to rural Stamford, Connecticut in the midst of the Great Depression. 13-year-old Sunny, accompanied by a stray dog, takes advantage of a windfall to travel from her Nebraska foster home to Enumclaw, Washington, to find the twin sister from whom she was separated at age 3. Read Peg Carrott's Runaway Twin to find out more about this story. In Central Texas in 1899, 11-year-old Callie V. Tate is instructed to be a lady by her mother, learns about love from the older 3 of her 6 brothers, and studies the natural world with her grandfather. Read The Evolution of Calpurnia Tate by Jacqueline Kelly. After a class trip to a floating zoo where animals are mistreated and Savannah's missing pet monkey is found in a cage, Long Island 6th grader Griffin Bing and his band of misfits plan a rescue in Gordon Corman's story called Zoobreak. 11-year-old Theodosia has the ability to detect black magic and ancient curses that are attached to objects in the Museum of Legends and Antiquities, which her father is the curator of, and discovers that a new artifact from Egypt is cursed and she must return it to the tomb it was excavated from before it destroys the British Empire. Minnie, an adventurous girl from a poor village, buys a magical goldfish and then joins a dragon who cannot fly on a quest to find the Old Man of the Moon in hopes of bringing life to Fruitless Mountain and freshness to Jade River. Like the Willow Tree, after being orphaned during the influenza epidemic of 1918, 11-year-old Lydia Pierce and her 14-year-old brother are taken by their grieving uncle to be raised in the Shaker community at Sabbath Day Lake. In Mike Lopica's $1 Million Throw, 13-year-old star quarterback Nate Brody, whose parents are struggling with finances, wins the chance to throw a ball through a target at a Patriots game and win $1 million if he isn't overwhelmed by the pressure to succeed. In Patricia McLaughlin's Word After Word After Word, a visiting poet, Ms. Maribel, teaches 5 friends in grade school about the power of words and writing. Tamara dreams of the day when 10-year-old Muscle Man McGinty's constant lies catch up to him, but when an incredible event takes place in the summer of 1969, her outlook on life is altered in the most surprising way. Read Neil Armstrong is My Uncle. In The Candy Makers by Wendy Moss, 4 gifted 12-year-olds, including Logan, the candy maker's son, are set to be contestants in the Confectionery Association's national competition to determine the nation's tastiest sweet. But nobody anticipates that a friendship will form between them. On the road from a bounty hunter who arrested her mother for being part of a secret society devoted to freeing clones, 13-year-old Leanna learns amazing truths about herself and her family as she is forced to consider the value of freedom and what it really means to be human in 2170 America. During a student exchange program, 7th graders Ivy June and Catherine share their lives, homes, and communities and find that although their lifestyles are total opposites, they have a lot in common. Read Phyllis Reynolds Naylor's Faith, Hope, and Ivy June. Barry's family tries to evacuate before Hurricane Katrina hits their home in New Orleans. But when Barry's little sister gets terribly sick, they're forced to stay home and wait out the storm. At first, Katrina doesn't seem to be as bad as predicted, but overnight the levees break and Barry's world is literally torn apart. He's swept away by the floodwaters, away from his family. Can he survive the storm of the century all alone? In The 13th Princess, Zita is cast aside by her father and raised as a kitchen maid. She learns when she is nearly 12 that she is a princess and that her 12 sisters love her, and so when she discovers they are victims of an evil enchantment, she desperately tries to save them. Read an Iowa Children's Choice book today.